Let's talk about what we're rainbowing today. If you guys have... I really don't use them. Per Android's category ally on the team for herself, and she'll get the 54% boost. Categories with Super Battle Road Goku because, you know, it's a J-Fan showcase. B-Pan because she does provide the Innocence link as well as the 33% attack boost through the 18 key super if you only have the 6 key at the start. 300,000. We're good. $27,000, $716,000. Let's talk about what we're rainbowing today. If you guys have... I am going to put them in the last, but I do want to get...
Braxton was diagnosed with choroid plexus carcinoma, a brain tumor.
It requires 4 key to get this 18 key super. We're having 59,000 is because super, so that's awesome. Alright, here we go. 800,000 plus attacks that for the Android 18. Can we get the critical? No, 758,000 damage. 1.5 key super. And bam, 800,000 damage on type neutral. So not too bad at all. Ports. So that's pretty good. This. $50,000. I don't know why. 700,000. You should have. We cannot seal here, but 2 bars down. Pretty easy. With the 17 and the key, interesting to note about. Of course, Android team, if you have like a lot of 17 and 18s, you're bound to get an 18 key with the LRs.
Sure, nearly everyone on this list was just pleased that they did. Only a few ever hold it, and it's an honor regardless. Imagine having that dream as though and strap them into the momentum and when the fans are desperate to see it, because you may start to lead switch off when really timing 10 WWs. When Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley, won the WWE title, it was awesome, even more so as he did it using his Money in the Bank briefcase, which he'd only obtained an hour or so before. That's just a cool idea, and the fans agreed. They went nuts when he did this, and some couldn't believe it. Dean had always been treated as the third guy in the Shield, so to reach this part of the mountain was great. He deserved it, as they say. Really though, this should have come a year or so before. In the summer of 2015, Ambrose and former Shield brother Seth Rollins were engaged in an epic feud that had brilliant matches to boot. This is why when Dean won the championship at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view after an absolute war, we all went mad. Good had triumphed over evil, and that dastardly Rollins has been shown that being a dick isn't always the best option. And then it changed. In a very well-worked dusty finish, it turned out that Seth had actually been DQ'd retroactively, meaning he was still the champ. This was fun as most of us bought it hook, line and sinker, but it kinda sucked that a month later, when they had a rematch, Ambrose was screwed over again. If we had stuck to all this originally, Ambrose, which is what happened. He was on top of the world, caused Ambrose to leave W. Don't think it helped. Number 9, he could have handled much better. 15, fans didn't really care. They were more bummed out that the Lunatic Fringe had lost. This was proven when Sheamus marched out to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and that got a far better response. Such booking always does, but the problem was the big dog had been positioned as the next star constantly without any WWE much loved by most, and while it became obvious that Roman was fighting for, he should have just been shaking your head now, humble. Nope, I don't think it would. Get things. Never treated properly when he won the World Heavyweight title. He almost felt like a stand better than some people give him credit for. He was able to show this after there he won a couple of world championships before taking all this back to his old haunts towards the latter nod. And that was because the big gold belt had been vacated due to everything that did happen with WWE champ Simon. And if you want to go with that, cool. he had proven that he was ready for a shot at a more prominent championship. The fact that it could have come earlier, given how well Christian had performed a whole situation, is ludicrous. To get it. And yeah, I know, like we said, some people never get the opportunity, but what can I say? I like the man, I respect his work, it's just how I feel. Number 7, Eddie Guerrero. Another star who left WWE only to come back feeling even bigger than he did before. When Eddie Guerrero won the world title at No Way Out 2004, the timing was pretty much bang on the money. It's a moment we still talk about today. However, I did say we were going to be pedants in this. Don't be mistaken either. His win over Brock Lesnar in February of that year was amazing and one of the best things to ever happen in wrestling, but don't forget how it finished. Goldberg got involved to build to the Brock vs. Bill match at WrestleMania 20, which was a bit of an eyebrow raiser if you were a Guerrero fan. Furthermore, at the Rumble, Lesnar had taken on Hardcore Holly for the title, which was nothing more than filler. The Beast destroyed Bob in 5 minutes. Therefore, if we had brought forward Eddie's win a little and given him his first world title on a bigger stage, it may have actually been better all around. Now, I'm sure WWE would have still come up with some way for the win to be slightly tainted, but I don't know, man. There is something in this idea, even though now it doesn't really matter. But that's why we're talking about it. It's fun. Number 6, Jeff Hardy. Anyone sense a theme? Once again, we have another before it went down. We're in pedant mode again too, because Jeff Hardy would have likely have been better off winning the belt a few weeks earlier than he did. Hardy's first WWE title not too shabby at all. With that said, he had been scheduled to compete in another title match at Survivor Series that came the month before. If that had gone how it was meant to, Jeff would have faced the Game and Vladimir Kozlov. Edge was put into that fight instead because Hardy had been, and I quote, found unconscious in a stairwell at his hotel the night before. Not a great way to get around this given Hardy's well-documented personal issues, but it was a shame as it robbed Jeff of winning a major WWE championship at a Big 4 pay-per-view. Now the idea was that we were going to reveal that it had been Matt Hardy who'd done all of this so they could build to a showdown at WrestleMania 25. But that could have been held off for a week so Jeff could have gotten his moment in November instead, and it wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference. I mean, ultimately, beating Edge and Triple H is far better than Vladimir Kozlov, but still, that's how I feel. You can argue in the comments. Number 6, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho did have a fairly rapid ascent in WWE. When he became the undisputed champ at Vengeance 2001, he'd only been with the promotion 2 years. That is pretty good. So we can't really complain about how he was booked, but there is one instance where giving the title to Jericho wouldn't have been bad at all. In fact, it would have rocked. As I'm sure you remember, during a match between Triple H and Jericho on Raw in the year 2000, WWE created one of the loudest pops you'll ever hear when Y2J did shock the game to win the world title.